This
yet.
conference will now be recorded.
All right, I did it right this time. Okay, so thanks everyone for coming. In order to hear us better, I think if everybody mutes and turns off their video, that'll be the easiest way to hear Jim once we get started here. Um, so Jim will do most of this here, but what we're going to do is there'll be a question and answer period, and then that's a time when you can either unmute yourself and then turn off your video, whichever you prefer, or turn on your video then. One more thing, I'm going to add it in our chat box right now to keep the library's accreditation, our exemplary accreditation, I should say, with the state library. We have a survey that we would like you to fill out, and I just put it in the chat. So you can fill that out at the end. I'll put it at it again, or it'll be on our website, on the library's website, and you can just fill that out afterwards. It shouldn't take you too long. It's just 10 questions, but we would really appreciate that so we can maintain our exemplary accreditation. So other than that, I think I'll just go ahead and mute myself and my camera and turn it over to Jim. Thanks again, Jim.
Thank you, Amy. And Amy, we sure pass along our appreciation from the Yankton Area Meditation Group for the library teaming up with us to present this. And good to see, well, I can't really see you right now, but good to know I can feel the good energy from everyone. And it is a real privilege to be with you this evening, and thank you. I thought we would, this is the second one that we have done virtually through the library, so I'm anticipating there might be a new person or two, which we have. I thought I'd just review a little bit, and last time we just went over really a few of the real fundamentals of the mindfulness practice, the meditation practice. And I'm going to just spend a little bit of time kind of going over that. And we began with a simple definition of mindfulness, of the meditation practice. And I really use those terms interchangeably. And that it's simply allowing non-judgmental awareness in the present moment. Non-judgmental awareness in the present moment. It's a simple enough definition, but I think it's a challenge, at least it is for me, to practice that at all the time. And some of the teachers call our minds a monkey mind, and that's no disrespect to monkeys. They're probably talking about our busy human minds, where we go from one thought, one thing to another. You kind of know how that might go. And we spend a part of our day, a good part of our day, doing this, all the while that larger life is going on all around us. And the human mind, it would seem, is not wired very well to stay in the present moment. And I think our experiences kind of bear this out, as we might always be kind of thinking ahead, or perhaps there's something in the past that we're dwelling on or even fixated on, and we just kind of go back and forth without really staying in the moment. And that's the only moment we have, is the present moment. So when we bring this non-judgmental awareness into the moment that we're living, I think we are more truly alive, and we give the possibility for peace to arise. And as I mentioned, we all do this. You all are experienced meditators, so you have met the requirements, if there is any. We have those moments, and think of those moments when you feel so happy, when you feel so alive, when you feel a sense of calmness, of gratefulness, of peace. And those are our blessed mindful moments. So what we did to kind of begin kind of the fundamentals was using some of the Buddhist practice, which I mentioned last time. We're not promoting Buddhist religion here unless, as the Dalai Lama was asked about what is your religion, and he said it's kindness, then I am promoting religion here. I think of all the good religions, the great religions of the world have loving kindness at their foundation. But using some of the things that Buddhist teachers have passed along, and they're not the only contemplatives, but they've been at it for so long and they're so well practiced in the meditation mindfulness experience that I will reference them from time to time. And one that we'll be hearing from tonight is the beloved Thich Nhat Hanh, beloved author, monk, peace activist, and a gentle spirit. A meditation practice in a maybe a more formal setting, in a setting such as this, we'll use a bell. If you ever visit a monastery, of course, you can go to monastic grounds of different religions and you'll hear bells. But in the monastery or in the meditation practice, the bell is that wonderful sound that brings us back to our true selves. And the bell, when the bell sounds, all activities, any chores cease, thoughts, clear our minds, our feelings, and we just breathe deeply. And typically 3 times. That's what it takes, maybe perhaps to just kind of go into that relaxed breathing and bringing your mind back to your body. And as Thich Nhat Hanh would say, that wonderful sound that brings me back to my true self. So we did last time a breathing meditation, and we're going to do another variation of that this evening. And we also did a meditation, and these were guided meditations, and that's a tool in the toolbox for teaching meditation, as is just a quiet sit, as is just finding your breath in the moment, walking mindfully, things such as that. We did one that was entitled the Body Space Awareness Meditation, and it was an exercise in experiencing a bit the gift of our senses and also that of spaciousness that is all around us. Even within an atom, it's mostly space. And so we meditate on that there is spaciousness within us and around us. It's larger life. It's larger the world. And we think so much about, not so much about our individual lives, but that we all together are expression of this one life, which is the planet Earth. We did another guided meditation on emotions, and I thought that might be appropriate given the year that we're having. Hope is on the rise. And we were to focus particularly on feelings of any fears or anxieties or stress. And you know, another thing is we're entering this holiday season, and there's a lot of disappointment. Most of us aren't gathering with family and friends as we may have in the past, and we need to sit with that. We need to, as Brother Tai, another name for Thich Nhat Hanh, might say, invite it in for tea, sit with it, befriend it, and then allow it after tea to go on its way, and to not identify it, to identify with it, and nurture those seeds, water those seeds of goodness those other seeds that are around us. So this evening, I just go over the agenda real quickly. As I mentioned, we'll do a breath meditation that I think you'll enjoy. We're going to do a meditation, a guided meditation on loving kindness and compassion. And a third one, adapted from a Dharma talk that was given by Brother Ty some time ago. As you know, he is well into his 90s and is not publicly able to teach at this point, except his good energy that he continues to send. And then we'll have some time for a conversation, and we'll conclude with a quiet sit. This first meditation is from a wonderful little book of wisdoms, and some of, maybe all of you have seen this book, The Four Arrangements, a gift from my friend Sam. And I've adapted a meditation from this book, a breath meditation, and I hope you enjoy this. We'll do this meditation for about a 10-minute sit. So find yourself in a comfortable position with your spine straight, maybe your feet nicely planted. We'll hear the bell, take 3 breaths, and begin the meditation. Wake up the bell. Please take a moment to gently close your eyes and open your heart and feel all the love that comes from your heart. Now focus your attention on your breath, on your lungs, as if only your lungs exist. Feel the pleasure when your lungs expand to fulfill the biggest need of the human body, to breathe. Now, take 3 deep breaths and feel the air as it fills your lungs. Feel how the air is nothing but love. Notice the connection between the air and the lungs a connection, a communion of love. Now expand your lungs with air until your body has the need to expel the air. Then exhale and feel the pleasure again. To breathe gives us much pleasure. Just to breathe is enough for us to always be happy, to enjoy life. Just to be alive is enough. Feel the pleasure to be alive, the pleasure of the feeling of love. You probably didn't know there was so much love going on between the air in your lungs. It's a wonderful thing. Our next meditation is called Loving Kindness and Compassion. And I'll ask you in the meditation to picture a loved one. It could be more than one. And then to picture one whom you have neutral feelings towards. You know, it might be back in the day that the person at the checkout that you don't know. And now perhaps it's the one that puts groceries in your trunk. from your online order, or someone that you have just don't really know, neutral feelings. And then I'll ask you to picture someone whom you have some struggles with, some difficulties. It might be a politician or two, or it may be a more personal one, but use your imagination. We'll begin and end with the bell, finding our breath. Take a few moments just to check in with your posture. Know that you are breathing in and know that you are breathing out, and refresh your motivation. Next, allow your mind to be open and present. You don't need to block what appears to your senses or stop the arising of thoughts. If you get distracted, simply bring yourself back to openness. Let your awareness be open and spacious and at ease with your eyes gently closed. Reflect on the fact that just as each of you have basic goodness, so does a loved one. Just as you want to be happy and at ease, they do too. With this recognition, silently repeat the phrase, "May you enjoy happiness and its causes." As you repeat this, bring that person to mind. May you enjoy happiness and its causes. Notice whatever feelings are present, and then relax again into open awareness. Just as you have the desire to be free from suffering, so does your loved one. And with this recognition, silently repeat the phrase, "May you be free from suffering and its causes." As you say this, relax your mind and open your heart to this possibility. May you be free from suffering and its causes. Again, reflect on the fact that just as you have basic goodness, so does the one that you have neutral feelings about. And just as you want to be happy and at ease, they do too. With this recognition, silently say, "May you enjoy happiness and its causes." And as you do, bring that person to mind. May you enjoy happiness and its causes. And just as you have the desire to be free from suffering, so does this person or persons. And with this, silently repeat, "May you be free from suffering and its causes." Relax your mind and open your heart to this possibility. May you be free from suffering and its causes. Just as you have basic goodness, so does this one you struggle with or have some difficulties with. Just as you, they want to be happy and at ease. And with this recognition, repeat silently, "May you enjoy happiness and its causes." Bring that person to mind. May you enjoy happiness and its causes. And just as you desire to be free from suffering, so does this person you struggle with. With this recognition, silently repeat, may you be free from suffering and its causes. And as you repeat this, relax your mind and open your heart to this possibility. Now let your mind rest in open awareness, not focusing on anything in particular. Simply let your mind be as natural as possible. Our third meditation begins with a little teaching from what is called a Dharma talk, a teaching type talk from Brother Tai on the four immeasurables, or sometimes called the four immeasurable minds or limitless minds. And those four, according to the Buddhists, and you'll find it in much foundational religion philosophy. These four are loving kindness, compassion, shared joy, and equanimity or inclusiveness. And they're called immeasurables or limitless because the more that they are practiced, the more that they are lived, the more that they grow. Here's an excerpt from Brother Tai's teaching on the four immeasurables. They're called immeasurables because if you practice them, they will grow every day until they embrace the whole world. You will become happier, and those around you will become happier also. If we learn ways to practice loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity, we will know how to heal the illnesses of anger, sorrow, insecurity, sadness, hatred, loneliness, and unhealthy attachments. Without understanding, however, our love is not true love. You must look deeply in order to see and understand the needs and aspirations and suffering of the one you love. We all need love. Love brings us joy and well-being. It is as natural as the air. We are loved by the air. We need fresh air to be happy and well. We are loved by the trees. We need trees to be healthy. In order to be loved, we have to love, which means we have to understand for our love to continue, we have to take the appropriate action or non-action to protect the air, the trees, and our beloved. Notice how Thich Nhat Hanh will call those four immeasurables together love. Let's begin our meditation on the four immeasurables. Loving kindness. We all have the seeds of loving kindness in us. We can develop this wonderful source of energy, nurturing the unconditional love that does not expect anything in return. When we understand someone deeply, even someone who has done us harm, we cannot resist loving him or her. The second immeasurable, compassion. The intention and capacity to relieve and transform suffering and lighten sorrows. To develop compassion in ourselves, we need to practice mindful breathing, deep listening, and deep looking. We look at the eyes of compassion and listening deeply to the cries of the world. Compassion contains deep concern. You know the other person is suffering, so you sit close to her. You look and listen deeply to her to be able to touch her pain. You are in deep communication, deep communion, and that alone brings some relief. One compassionate word or thought or action can reduce another person's suffering and bring joy. The third immeasurable, joy, shared joy. that brings joy to ourselves and to the ones we love. If our love does not bring us joy, it is not true love. Dwelling in mindfulness, we can touch wondrous things. The beauty of nature all around us, the colors, the sounds, the smells, the touch. Wondrous, refreshing things. And our mind of joy arises naturally. Joy contains happiness, and happiness contains joy. More deeply, we share joy. We rejoice when we see others happy. We rejoice in our own well-being. The fourth immeasurable, equanimity, inclusiveness, even-mindedness, letting go. Let it be. You climb the mountain to be able to look over the whole situation, not bound by one side or the other. The wisdom of equality, the ability to see everyone as equal, not discriminating between ourselves and others. We put ourselves into the other person's skin and become one with him or her we want to understand and truly love. When that happens, there is no self. There is no other. We gently open our eyes. This should be a moment, if need be, to take a bit of a stretch. We're going to stretch and drink some cool, refreshing water. Join me. Well, let's to that. I hope you enjoyed those meditations. If you remember them, can use just parts of that to just take yourself into a quiet sit, and that's one of the gifts of guided meditations that have been passed along through the years as the wisdom that may help us when we could use it. Amy, we can open this up then to any questions. I'm going to bring in my Gloria here, too, who is just sitting with us. Can you come in a little more? And we can have in conversation.
Sure. If anybody has any questions, just go ahead and unmute your mic and ask away. Or you can just type it in the chat and we can look at it there too.
Yeah, questions or comments?
Tell them to turn their cameras on.
Yeah, so if you want to turn your cameras on, yeah. Unmute if you see. I should check the chat box too. I see there's something in there.
That's
okay, that's Amy's survey. Any thoughts or comments before we do our closing meditation? Sounds like water running somewhere. Was
very relaxing.
Yeah, go ahead, Kelly.
So tell us, Jim, if you fall asleep during meditation, is that a bad thing? Just wondering for a friend. So,
boy, I think that's a gift, isn't it? I've been with those that has happened. Maybe I've done it and noticed. And if they're sitting next to you, you wonder if you should wake them, especially if they're making some interesting noises, or just let them be. And I think the group consensus is just let it be. And yeah, that person needed that.
Jim, how long have you been meditating?
Well, Kelly, that's a good question. I guess I would, as I mentioned earlier, that in in fact, all of the major religions, I'm not a religious scholar, but I've dabbled in it a little bit, that you find the contemplative practice. And I remember one time, one of the nuns asked me when we were doing got the start of the Yankton Meditation Group, and she was asking, and it's a fair question, why aren't you using the Christian contemplative experience? And your emphasis is kind of with Buddhist practice, and I just said to her, I love the Christian contemplative experience, and Kelly, that's where I got my start. Yeah. Is in that quietness, and that religion started with a contemplative practice, and then it became more about doctrine and right believing and such. So, and then I guess it was when Gloria and I both kind of discovered Thich Nhat Hanh and that tradition, that we just fell in love with the practice as taught that way. But it's a shared practice. I mean, you see the overlap in all the major religions in their mystical or their contemplative practice. How about you, Kelly?
Boy, gosh, maybe 15 years, I would say. Started with yoga, for me, that practice grew out of yoga.
And that was a good part of Gloria's too.
Yeah, what's interesting is some of these ancient practices that actually give you skills, the
Mhm.
teach skills as opposed to just go and do it, you know? There's specific things like following your breath that can be very helpful,
Mhm.
or yoga,
Yeah.
engaging your body and your mind together,
Mhm.
which keeps you in the present moment.
Yeah.
You know, I'm clearly uh, passionate about Thich Nhat Hanh's teachings, and if you ever, he has a lot of books out there, and they're just all very approachable. And I, you know, one of the first ones that I read some years ago was Living Buddha, Living Christ, and it
Yeah.
was just amazing how he could put his a loving embrace upon around another religion and just speak so tenderly about it. Um, and he his books really are so conversational. They are really kind of, they come from his talks, and they've been recorded and then written down. And but if you haven't been exposed, that would be the best Christmas present I could give to any of you, is to pick up something of his. And one of his latest is, I guess I put my copy in the other room, but
Art of living.
yeah, The Art of Living is a really beautiful, The Art of Living is a beautiful kind of summation of his wisdom in practice. Other thoughts or questions? Well, let's then go in. Thank you. And let's go in and conclude with just a quiet sit. And of course, that's perhaps the best gift we can give ourselves every day, is that quietness, and to just enter into the stillness and calm ourselves in non-judgmental awareness. So again, we'll go into quiet, get comfortable for just a short little sit. And your quiet sits can be minutes, seconds. You'll be nurtured if you can claim, 10, 15, 20 minutes during the day, or every so often. And find our breath and enter into stillness. Return to your breath from any thoughts or feelings. Let those thoughts or feelings gently go down the river. Well, again, I want to thank you all. And if you are able to join us next month, I believe that would be the meditation Monday on the 11th. I have a homework assignment for you. Please have a blank sheet of paper handy. I just saw one, and that's all you have to do. Wouldn't that have been great back in the day when we were in school if the teachers just said, just hand in a blank sheet of paper. Oh, that would have been such a gift. That's my gift, little homework. And dear ones, awakening ones, as the practitioners are often called, to continue to be kind to yourselves and allow for some stillness and happy holidays to everyone, and hope to see you in January, if not before. Namaste. And thank you, Amy.
Thanks again, Jim. We really appreciate it. And yeah, if everybody could fill out that survey, that would be great. And happy holidays to all of you as well.
Thank you, Amy, for hosting this.
Oh, it's no problem. This is such a relaxing hour for me.
And if you enjoyed it, don't hesitate to share the link with friends as Amy will send out a new link, and we'll look
Yes.
forward to gathering again.
Yep, we'll have one again in January and February. So hope to see you there. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Same
Merry
to you.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Okay.